Welcome to Science and Technology Briefing. The content of the briefing includes how a Hong Kong startup uses AI to bring personalized hair care to the masses. Chinese experts call for countries to be accountable for wildfire emissions. A fiction, the fall of a fintech star accused of massive fraud. Year in a word, LLM. Is this the future of art? One Melbourne high school has found a way to reduce waste in art classes. How a Hong Kong startup uses AI to bring personalized hair care to the masses. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong startup Haircosis has developed an artificial intelligence (AI) platform that uses AI algorithms to analyze photos of users' heads to identify hair and scalp conditions and suggest treatment options. The app uses AI to conduct hair and scalp evaluations by calculating the number of hairs and measuring the thickness of hair shafts in microscopic photos. The technology has been trained with a data pool of over 1 million hair photos, and the company plans to expand into the Greater Bay Area, Malaysia, and Thailand next year. Chinese experts call for countries to be accountable for wildfire emissions. South China Morning Post. Chinese scientists are calling for emissions from wildfires to be included in international carbon accounting, but a U.S. expert warns that holding nations accountable for their wildfire emissions ignores the global impact of climate change. In a report released on December 7, scientists at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, CAS, called for the establishment of a full-scale, international carbon accounting system that includes natural factors such as forest fires. Under this system, emissions from wildfires would be included in national carbon assessments and accounting mechanisms. But the idea has been met with skepticism. John Fasullo, a scientist at the United States National Center for Atmospheric Research, said it makes no sense to penalize specific countries for fire-related emissions through national accounting mechanisms. Increases in wildfires are often the result of the emissions from other nations, he said. A fiction, the fall of a fintech star accused of massive fraud. Financial Times. Nigerian fintech firm Tingo Group has been accused of committing a massive fraud by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. The agency claims that founder Dozie Mwabubusi inflated the profits of 3 companies by forging documents in order to defraud investors. The SEC halted trading in Tingo Group and agri-fintech securities in November as a result of inaccuracies found in their disclosures. In June, US-based short seller Hindenburg Research described Tingo Group as an exceptionally obvious scam. The SEC has now filed a complaint against Tingo, alleging that the firm's purported assets, revenues, expenses, customers and suppliers are virtually entirely fabricated. The regulator has called the scale of the fraud staggering. Mwabubusi has stepped down as CEO and board member of Tingo in the wake of the allegations. Year in a word, LLM. Financial Times. The large language model, LLM, has become a significant advancement in artificial intelligence, AI, technology. It can create text, images, and code that mimic human ability. OpenAI's ChatGPT, an AI chatbot, has popularized the use of LLM and is now used by up to 100 million people every week. Other major companies, such as Google and Meta, have also released their versions of LLM-based models. These models have been adopted by various professionals, including students, doctors, lawyers, and scientists, to speed up their tasks. However, the rapid adoption of LLM technology also brings the risk of job displacement on a massive scale. The focus in the coming years will be on evaluating the benefits of LLM and finding ways to mitigate its impact on employment. Is this the future of art? One Melbourne high school has found a way to reduce waste in art classes. ABC. A school in Australia is teaching students how to create art using bioplastics, in a cross-curricular subject called BioStudio. The course teaches students about plastic pollution and the threat to marine life, and the students then learn how to make bioplastics, which they craft into art pieces. Bioplastics are fully compostable and can be made from organic materials such as seaweed. The students' artworks will be recycled for use by next year's students. Other schools have shown interest in teaching the subject. Fashion retailer Shine leads the pack of Chinese tech IPOs to watch in 2024. South China Morning Post. Several Chinese technology startups are expected to pursue IPOs in 2024 or early 2025, with most of them planning to make their trading debut in Hong Kong. The most high-profile company in this group is e-commerce firm Shine, which is expected to go public in the next 12 to 18 months. 6 mainland Chinese companies are on the list of firms expected to go public, while 153 US companies and 31 Indian firms are also planning an IPO. Boys basketball, check out how Gardner area teams have fared early in the season. Yahoo! The article provides an update on the performance and scoring leaders of boys basketball teams in the Gardner area. Monty Tech has had a strong start to the season with a 4-1 record, led by Jaden Jones and Ben Goslin, who are both averaging over 14 points per game. Oakmont is also performing well with a 3-1 record, led by Jordan Pantojas, who is averaging 19 points per game. Quabbin has a 2-3 record and is led by Kyle Clark with an average of 11.4 points per game. Gardner is at an even 2-2 record and has been led by Kim Gamache, who has scored double digits in every game so far. Murdoch and Narragansett are both winless so far this season, with Stephen Gauthier and Max Kaufman leading their respective teams in scoring. The article also mentions upcoming games for each team. Manitoba Minister and Top Doctor urge vaccinations as hospitals strain. The Globe and Mail. Manitoba's Health Minister and Chief Provincial Public Health Officer are urging people to get vaccinated before the holidays to protect themselves and the healthcare system. They stated that it is not too late to get vaccinated, although it takes 10 days before peak protection is achieved. They also emphasized the importance of staying home if sick and asked healthcare staff to consider taking extra shifts to help with the increased patient load. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six from the 6 Degree World, here to bring you the latest news and insights from around the globe. Today, we have an interesting mix of stories that range from high-tech innovations to fraud allegations and even a creative approach to art. So, let's dive in. First up, we have a Hong Kong startup called Haircosis that is revolutionizing the hair care industry with the help of artificial intelligence. Their AI platform uses algorithms to analyze users' hair and scalp conditions, providing personalized treatment options. It's like having a virtual hair expert at your fingertips. With their plans to expand into other countries next year, it seems like the future of hair care is looking pretty smart. Moving on, Chinese scientists are calling for countries to be held accountable for wildfire emissions. While this might sound logical, a US expert argues that it ignores the global impact of climate change. It's a heated debate, pun intended. However, one thing is clear: wildfires are a serious concern, and we need to address them collectively to protect our planet. Now, let's talk about a fall from grace. Nigerian fintech firm Tingo Group has been accused of committing a massive fraud. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission alleges that the company inflated profits and fabricated assets, revenues, and customers. It's a classic case of smoke and mirrors, and it's a reminder that we should always be cautious when it comes to investing. Shifting gears, we have the rise of the large language model, LLM. This AI technology has become a game changer, with applications ranging from chatbots to speeding up tasks for professionals like doctors and lawyers. However, as with any advancement, there are concerns about job displacement. It's a balancing act between embracing the benefits of LLM and finding ways to minimize its impact on employment. Next, let's head down under to Australia, where a high school is tackling plastic pollution through art. The students at this school are learning how to create art using bioplastics, which are fully compostable and made from organic materials. Not only are they creating beautiful artwork, but they're also raising awareness about the threat to marine life. It's a creative approach to reducing waste and inspiring future generations. In the business world, Chinese tech startups are gearing up for IPOs in the coming years. E-commerce giant Shein is expected to make a splash with its public debut, joining other mainland Chinese companies in the IPO frenzy. It seems like the Chinese tech industry is ready to take center stage, and investors are eagerly watching. And finally, we have an update on boys basketball teams in the Gardner area. Some teams are off to a strong start, while others are still finding their footing. It's early in the season, but these young athletes are giving it their all on the court. Let's cheer them on as they continue to showcase their skills and sportsmanship. That's all the news for today, folks. Remember, knowledge is power, and staying informed is the key to navigating our ever-changing world. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any questions or opinions to share? The floor is yours. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6-do brief via email.